Morning, Sportsnites. It's Motivational Monday on a Tuesday morning. Decided I wanted to continue our Motivational Monday series and just in this time of change with not meeting in class, just be able to give you encouragement and continue to hopefully give you positive things to look at right now. I know it's a dark time, there's a lot of things going on, and so just wanted to give you a little glimpse of hope and just some good things going on. And so I'm actually reading this book called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, and he has a story I want to read for you guys, all right? It's called In the Pail. Two frogs left the safety of their swamp one day and ventured into a nearby farm to explore. Soon they found themselves in a dairy, where they found a large milk pail. Hopping into the pail, they found it was half filled with fresh cream. The two little frogs were absolutely thrilled. They had never tasted anything so delicious. Soon their bellies were full. Feeling sleepy, they decided it was time to leave, and that's when they realized they were in trouble. They'd had no trouble hopping in, but how are they going to get out? The inside of the pail was too slippery to climb. And because they couldn't reach the bottom and there was nothing for them to step on for traction, hopping to safety was out of the question too. They were trapped. Frantic, they began thrashing about, their feet scrabbling for a foothold on the elusive slippery curve of the pail's sides. Finally, one frog cried out, "It's no use, we're doomed." "No," the other frog gasped. "We can't give up. When we were tadpoles, could we have dreamed that someday we would emerge from the water and hop about on land? Swim on, brother. Pray for a miracle." But the first frog only eyed his brother sadly. "There are no miracles in the life of a frog," he croaked. "Farewell." And he sank slowly out of sight. The second frog refused to give up. He continued paddling in the same tiny circle, over and over and over, hoping against hope for a miracle. An hour later, he was still paddling his futile little circle. He no longer even knew why. His brother's dying words clutched at his thoughts as fatigue and tiredness tugged at his tiny muscles. Was my brother right? He thought desperately. Are there no miracles in the life of a frog? Finally, he could swim no more. With a whimper of anguish, he stopped paddling. He let go, ready to face his fate. Yet to his surprise, unlike his brother, the second frog did not sink. He stayed right where he was, as if suspended in midair. He stretched out a foot tentatively, and he felt something solid. He heaved a big sigh, said a silent farewell to his poor departed brother frog, then scrambled up to the top of the big lump of butter he had just churned, hopped out of the pail, and off towards his home in the swamp. So if you're not sure what just happened, the frog hopped into the pail of milk, and by kicking and kicking and kicking and kicking and kicking and kicking, a little bit, over time, that butter churned. And what happens when butter churns, or when milk churns and churns and churns and churns, is eventually it turns to butter. And butter is a solid substance that frog was able to hop up onto and jump out of that pail. And the moral of this story, there's a couple different morals, but one of them that everybody always tends to give is never give up hope. That there's never a time to just give up. But I want to point you in a different direction. I want you to look at a different part of the story. That frog didn't do a big, giant leap to get out. He just kept paddling. One foot after another. One foot after another. And what happened was those tiny little strokes of a foot, paddle, paddle, paddle. Those tiny strokes of a foot made small differences in churning the milk. Small differences, small differences, small difference, small difference, small difference, small difference. And slowly over the course of time, every small difference turned into one big difference. And so what I want to encourage you with is that the small decisions you make every single day turn into big decisions later on in life. Whether it's with exercising for 15 minutes a day, whether it's for practicing your homework for 15 minutes a day, whether it's for reading 10 pages of a good book, whether it's going outside, walking, baking, doing something to get a little bit better. Small amounts of time given today can lead to great growth later. And so I just want to encourage you, just like that frog, one, don't give up hope. And two, do something small that makes you better today. Because if you continue to do something every single day that makes you better, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the road, your health will be better, your finances will be better, your attitude will be better, your happiness level will be better. Small changes each day make a big difference, and they lead to either a frog that's in hope, that lived through the butter churning, or the frog that died in despair and sadness. Take that, be encouraged today, have a great Tuesday, and I'll have another Motivational Monday for you on actually Monday next week. See you, CMS. See you, students.